Hey guys, namaste. So I took a vow of silence on Monday for the whole day. I did break it. My son ended up calling me, so clearly I wanted to be able to speak to him. But I wanted to talk about it because it just made me realize a lot, and a lot of things came to fruition for me and just resonated within me, and it made me realize a lot. When I was 16 and 17, I spent 95% of my life on silence, actually. So it really actually wasn't that difficult, and that's a funny thing. I just continued to keep thinking about this program that I had gone through. Some of you may know it, some of you may have experienced something like that. It was called WWASP, Worldwide Association of Specialty Programs. I call it the program. Most people who went there call it the program. It was like a type of boot camp boarding school for troubled teens. And mainly what I was thinking about is not that the silence was difficult, but I think that helped me to encompass empathy for people, because being on silence, you end up just kind of embracing somebody else's body language and the way that they're feeling towards certain things. And I think that's why now I'm able to enter a room and kind of feel things out, because I've experienced a lot of stuff on silence for that period of time. But it also made me kind of wonder, because there's also somebody who's in my town who I ended up kind of sending away to one of the programs, and she had a horrible experience, as well as everybody else generally from these programs. There's really no one that I talked to that's embraced it and loved it as much as I did. And I've always wondered why. That's kind of sick because I'm oh my god, I idolized this place that people hated because they were away from their family. I guess they felt like they were brought there for extreme reasons when they didn't feel like it was needed that extreme. Whatever the case may be, I don't know, because that's not how I felt. For me, it was safety. For me, that's the first time I ever felt love. That's the first time I ever felt compassion. And that's just something that I realized. Some of these people came from loving families, and I didn't. So this is where I found and realized what love was, and a lot of things came to head. Some of my skeletons came out, and I was able to actually face some things. And I think ultimately me going home is what stemmed a lot of my alcoholism, because I actually didn't drink when I initially got home for a little bit. I think it was maybe a month or two, and then it was just downhill from there. Because things had come into, that's when I basically had only lived back with my foster parents for a couple months, and then I was no longer with them. I was losing contact, just all this stuff. That just made me realize a lot about the person that I was then, and that's when my true passion for recovery came about. And I just realized how passionate and accountable that you need to be in order for this to work. Is you got to see how bad do you want it? How accountable do you want to be? And that's just making me realize a lot about myself, because the foster parents that I grew up with, their voices are still embedded in me. And I think last week I had made a video about how I was dealing with some hard things, and I truthfully blame them for a lot of my self-doubt and who I am as a person now, and how much I hate myself. And I'm working on letting that go. I feel like I just keep crying in every video. I apologize. Because I am a lovable person, and that's the most important thing that I'm realizing and coming to focus with. Because I think that is one of the really true just humanity needs, that we all just need to know that we are loved and that we are lovable. And coming to terms with that, and just really trying to embrace that I am divine, and no less, no more. Because I'm not trying to just embrace all this goodness and leaving out that I have suffering. And that's ultimately why I love Refuge Recovery, because it focuses on the fact that I have suffering, and that I'm not coming and leaving my baggage on somebody else's door that's in a backpack behind me, and I deal with that, and I'm taking care of that. And I'm hoping that more people can or would want to embrace that, because that silence really helped me to embrace my spirituality again, and I think that was a big part of what I was missing. and that magical child within me that I learned about like through the program, and embracing this little girl that like missed out on her childhood, and that she's angry and she's enraged, and why I spent most of my time so angry in my 20s. And I'm just very thankful that I had the experience, and I've been wanting to take a vow of silence for years. Like, I kid you not, like years. So please, like, mine was only a day. I do plan on extending it more and more. Try to be doing it each month, because I do eventually, for me, it's also part of, like, because I'm trying to take retreats, like silent retreats eventually, and I want to, really make sure that I'm able to focus and being in the moment when I'm there. So I really advise anybody else who's looking towards that, please do it. It was interesting, people's reactions towards it, because I felt it was more difficult to be on silence when I was at home than when I was with people. But that's part of that accountability thing too, and also because, realizing that I don't really respect myself. Like, I always feel like I have to say something. And respect is a huge thing for me, and I'm realizing that I don't always need to like lash out at myself, especially, and that just as much as I want to give everybody else love and compassion, that I deserve that for myself as well. And that's really all for me. I really just wanted to share my experience with that, and really advise anybody who's thinking about it to do it. A day can't hurt, and I think it's just such a beautiful experience. You're able to really just have respect and understand that you don't need to respond towards people. I hope that the next time that I do it, that'll be a little bit better at not even responding to text messages. Such a bad thing that I do. Anyways, I get my license back tomorrow. Oh. So, the 6 months has come to an end, and I'm not really sure how I'm feeling. I probably will make a video about it next week. I do want to be able to drive. There's so many things that I think I've been putting off in my life because I just want to have my license to be able to do it. But I'm very thankful. I don't have this feeling of needing or wanting to drink. I'm still extremely beating myself up for the last experiences that I had while drinking, so I'm hoping that sticks. But other than that, I will keep you guys posted, and I hope you guys are all having a wonderful and amazing sober life. Namaste sober, and I hope you do too.